my beautiful nation and what it means to me. Not a thing out of place, that's what's special about it. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight, just the beginning of our lives. Sweet Grenada, this is home. Yes, and do you?
All right, people. How are you doing? Welcome to another Mikey Live. It's my pleasure to be back with you for another day. This is where it all happens. We're talking about the good, the bad, and the Mikey. So many things are always happening in, whether it is in Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, we tell you about it. We pay particular attention to home. They say dance a yard before you dance abroad. And so probably about 65% of our news is focusing on Grenada, of course, but keeping in mind that we have viewers at the other Caribbean islands, of course, we highlight some of the big stories from there as well. So for those of you who are non-Grenadians but tuned into the program, welcome. Thank you for so doing. We are joined by the folks at WPG10. We would like to say hello to those guys there at WPG10. That's cable channels 10 and 11, 10 standard definition, 11 HD. YouTube viewers, welcome, and Facebook viewers, thank you for joining us as well. Tonight's headlines. What's breaking the internet? Of course, I don't even have to tell you this. There's never been a time when one thing is so obvious as breaking the internet. Everybody probably would have already seen that video from last night, I believe it was, in Trinidad and Tobago. If you have not seen that video, you're living under a rock. But we will share that with you tonight anyway. 628 cases of child abuse and neglect in 2018. We will speak to the statistics in a moment. GFA Premier League on hold for the second consecutive week end. Also, house on fire at Calivini. 15 years in prison for killing monk gay inmate. We're going to feature the In the Paper segment tonight, as we usually do on Friday nights. And driest January in Grenada's history. All right, we told you about that last night. We had to come back with it tonight again. And that drowns in Trinidad and Tobago saving son. So we have that, all these to tell you about and more on tonight's Mikey Live. So it's a good time to chill, you know, relax yourself, you know, unwind a bit. And we're going to try to see if we can have a nice, light and fun afternoon while we speak some serious news. Remember, we say this is news discussed, not told. We give you the good, the bad, and the Mikey. The news headlines is brought to you through the kind compliments of Duty Free Caribbean and Colombian Emeralds International and WPG10. Share the program. You see, sharing the program gives other people an opportunity to see that we are live. Anyway, folks, when we come back, it will be real news in all your Lili Lolo. So stay tuned. We will be back.
And so it begins, a journey like no other. Jungles so lush, they make emeralds jealous. Water that sparkles like diamonds. mountains with more facets than precious gems. This is where good times are had, where love is strengthened, where memories are formed. And when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will never fade. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
It's a new year, so how about a new look? At Quartz Optical, we have the latest brand names and styles. Plus, get 20% off credit on 12 to 24 months. Instant credit approval while you are being tested. Get 15% off cash, so you can get that new frame to go into the new year. Only at Quartz Optical, the largest, fastest growing optical chain in the Caribbean. Special conditions apply.
Colors Promotion together with Carib present National Colors Fest. Everybody safe, girls winding up, keep up. National Colors Fest, Wednesday, February 6th, the night before the holiday. Moonlight City, we deck off in our national colors and come out to play a mass. And you see, when morning touch, Grenada's best takes the stage. Sheldon Douglas, Boise, Dash, wind up, we don't want no easy. King, Heinen Job and Sosa, Muddy and Squeezed, Looney Spark and Electrify, Zooty Man and more. Get ready, cause a mass go play. We embrace the ice, green and gold National Colors Fest, 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. General admission 25. Ticket outlets are Kittens, England Dance, Heather Boutique, Shopty's Bar, opposite the terminal, Spice Mobile Guam, Shi's Bar Victoria, Big Lane Bar Sates, Kwame in River Sally, Daigo Shop Tivoli, Bogozo Barbershop, Kevin and Crush Barbershop Grenville, and St. David's Pharmacy. National Colors Fest, Wednesday, February 6th, Moonlight City.
The pride and joy of a nation is its flag. Its colors and arrangement makes it significant and stunningly beautiful. On Wednesday, February 6th, it's National Colors Day. Every proud Grenadian is asked to deck off in clothing highlighting the colors of our flag. Whether you are dressed for work, daily routines, or casual engagements, showcase the true Grenadian spirit. Every ministry, every department, and all workplaces are encouraged to join in. National Colors Day, Wednesday, February 6, 2019. Endorsed by the National Celebrations Committee. Our people, our colors, our day. On Wednesday, February 6th, National Colors Day.
National Colors Day is going to be off the shizzle. Today we had a nice little event in front of the Esplanade Mall, boy. Thank you to Miss Edwards for facilitating us, and of course to the National Celebrations Committee. We had a really nice time in hunting. Yeah. All right, so folks, I think it's time for us to get down into the business of the news shady program. Some of our little shady thing yet. Shady thing, the man. Although there's a serious situation going on in Venezuela right now. Yeah? Nicolas Maduro announced as a prime minister for the next 6 years, and is almost thing just turn up. You understand? Thing just turn up. So the leader of the opposition there said that he is the leader now. Yeah, and he's the boss. Donald Trump and the US government says that they are sending aid and they are pledging aid to Venezuela under the leadership of the opposition. So all you understand what's going on there. No, there's a big chart that shows these islands who are for Venezuela, these who are not for. Russia say leave Venezuela alone, America say, you know, it's a whole set of back and forth. You understand? So what has happened now? CARICOM. You understand? The Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM, they have sent out a statement on the latest development in the situation in the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Now, the following heads of government of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Jamaica, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, Foreign Ministries of Grenada and Suriname, meetings. They had a meeting by video conference, and that meeting was held yesterday. And so they issued a statement. It says here that the heads of government, they are following closely the current unsatisfactory situation in the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, a neighboring Caribbean country. They express grave concern about the plight of the people of Venezuela and the increasing volatility of the situation brought on by the recent developments, which could lead to further violence, confrontation, breakdown of law and order, and greater suffering for the people of the country. They say that they wanted to reaffirm their guiding principles of non-interference and non-intervention in the affairs of states, respect for their sovereignty, adherence to the rule of law, and respect for human rights and democracy. So in other words, they are not going to get directly involved, and also they're asking other heads, other governments, other countries to stay out of the people's business. So they have said now that they will offer the office to have some sort of discussion, because they're saying that it is only going and having some meaningful dialogue, peaceful dialogue, that is going to bring a resolution to what's really happening in Venezuela. Now the heads of government say that they have agreed that the chairman of the conference, the Honorable Timothy Harris, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, would seek an urgent meeting with the United Nations Secretary General to request the UN's assistance in resolving the issue. They say that they are calling on external forces to refrain from doing anything that would destabilize the situation in Venezuela. You understand? So, let's see how things will work out, you know what I mean? But that's what going on in the place, boy. You know, again, a text here from one of my sources. Okay. Okay, all right, good. You understand? So people, yeah. The next thing that we have to tell all about, boy. Yeah, just receiving some information from one of my sources. We'll talk about that in a moment. All right, let some more information come. GFA, boy, Premier League. It's on hold for the second consecutive weekend. For the second consecutive weekend running, there'll be no Premier League. Now, this decision is taken by the Grenada Football Association, saying referees are not ready to take to the field. They had a little, they sent out a little note, you know. It's on the account of the physical attack unleashed by players and fans on the presiding official on the 13th of this month. Queen's Park Rangers Hurricane game, we told you about that the other day. Yeah? So the referees are saying that they are still a little shaken up by the whole thing, and so they, you know, they're not ready to get back to the field yet. Now you remember that GFA said that they have taken a decision to put a disciplinary, well, they already had a disciplinary committee, but the whole incident is under investigation, and they had suspended some of the players and officials of the Rangers team. Now, Queen's Park Rangers members, of course, may not have been happy to hear what would have happened, you know, the actions that would have been taken against their colleagues. But anyway, that's how the GFA has decided to handle the matter. GFA has since taken a decision to provide security at remaining games to protect the referees. Although there are some who said that there's no need for that. You know? Anyway, the guys said that they will be prepared to play the next time around. But for now, they're not ready yet. Alright, so games have been interrupted as a result of that. Alright, we are moving on. Youth ambassadors selected, and they are people that you know very well, people that you would see in your communities and so on. You understand? And you know how happy we just be when we young people and them get selected. So that's person number 1. Alright, and person number 2. Alright, so yes, man. Congratulations. I'll give them a shake. Oh God, give them a clap, no, man. Now these are the faces of Grenada's representatives who were selected for the 2019 CARICOM Youth Ambassadors Program. Melissa Forrester. Hello, Melissa. How you doing? And Jashawn Clark. They emerged at the top from among the list of nominees that were interviewed from among a list of prospective candidates. Yeah? Now, they will be supported by Joshua St. Bernard and Kadina Cornwell, who are expected to serve in their absence. All right, so young people, as usual, doing things. You know, sometimes you don't hear bad things, but when you hear good things about young people, you have to talk about it, and that's what we are about in the program. Now, the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors Program provides opportunities to CARICOM youth in deepening their levels of youth participation and partnership in regional integration, social and economic processes. You understand? So big them up. When all you see them on the street, give them a shake and buy a mouth for them and say, good job. All you represent us nice in the business. You know what I mean? So yes, cool. How we looking? Make sure you clap now. We're real tired and thing and I take all the time. Oh yeah. Fire in Calvini. One of our colleagues just sent us a confirmation on that. Fire in Calvini, boy. You know, a house on fire in Calvini. And the fire services, they were there earlier, just a moment ago before I came on the program and thing, putting the blaze under control. What caused the fire is still a little too sudden, too soon to say. You understand? But this is going to be one of the first house fires that we're having for 2019. Now we are expecting a crazy dry season this year, and of course they say they have a no burn policy, and whether it is by home, whether it is your land, nothing also. Still, anyway, if it's in your land, you still have to call the police, talk to them, seek permission, and there's a process that needs to happen. All right, but as it relates to fires, the police, they are kind of like trying to be on top of things with that, you know what I mean? But as to what caused this particular fire, it's a bit too early to say, but we will find out for you and probably tell you in our next program, which is more than likely to be Monday. If you get more information before that, well, you know, we just come on and do it thing, you know. I mean, police officers completing assessment level 4 to become assessors receive their certificate. Now, it is a very technical program, all right, and these police officers made it. You understand? So we had to big them up. 7 members of the Royal Grenada Police Force who have completed training as certified assessors for occupational areas in policing. They have received their assessment CVQ level 4 certificates, and level 4 is a very high level of people. Now, the certificates were presented during a brief ceremony at the National Training Agency's office on Wednesday, January 23rd, 2018. You understand? Speaking on behalf of the National Training Agency Quality Assurance Coordinator, that's Francis Ruffin, who was one of the main facilitators for the training, noted that the collaboration with the Royal Grenada Police Force is aimed at building capacity to enable the police training school to become an approved training center, delivering CVQs in several occupational areas under policing. You understand? This is amazing business we're talking about. People, we're raising the bar. How come we doesn't hear them news on them? You understand? Now, she noted that 32 officers were first trained as competency-based education and training CBET instructors. Yeah? with 14 going on to be trained as assessors and 7 completing the assessment process for full certification. You understand? How we don't hear them thing, boy? Anyway, it's a long story that we're going to post on our website because we want to put every bit of detail on the business. All you know, them officers, just give them a clock to know what it is. They're bright. You know what I mean? They're bright. So all I get you. You know what I mean? All I get you. Let me read that talk there. Speaking of which, just before I come on the program, I went over to the Special Victims Unit and met with some officers at the Special Victims Unit, and they say if I don't big them up, it's problems. So we want to big up the officers of the Special Victims Unit tonight on the program. All right, big up all your whole self. Good. We're moving on. How we looking for time? All the share business. Next thing to tell all you about, boy. No. All right, so you know we give you the good. Let's give you the bad. Now, I am going to place a picture on your screen, and you probably would know this gentleman. Welcome to the In the Paper segment. This one comes from the Grenada Informer. 15 years in prison for killing Mongay inmate. A 29-year-old man from the village of Mount Parnassus in St. George, charged in connection with the death of a mentally ill inmate at the Mongay Mental Hospital in June of 2017, has been sentenced to 15 years in prison after accepting full responsibility for his action. Gabriel Aline, a former employee of a leading pharmacy in the city, known to have had a history of mental illness, was sentenced last Friday by Senior High Court Judge Madame Justice Paula Guilford at the number 1 Supreme Court in St. George's. No, he was represented in court by attorney-at-law Pauline Hannibal. Now, according to information from the court, the incident took place in 2017 at the Mongay Mental Hospital when Aline, who had a relapsed mental condition, was admitted at the institution as a patient. Now, the information went on to say that during his admission, Aline had to be strapped to his bed to control his aggressive behavior. However, it was said that he was able to move his bed close to that of another patient, one Antoine Alexander, who was in a similar situation, held him by the throat and strangled him to death. Wow. Now, during last Friday's sentencing, a number of character witnesses were called to give evidence on Aline's behalf, and the general consensus among them was that Aline was a decent young man, well behaved. However, having lost his elder sister, suddenly his behavioral pattern changed. Now, one witness told the court that on one occasion, he was seen with a picture of his sister, making the repeated statement that he loves his sister and missed her. Witnesses also hinted that Aline became a frequent user of drugs and alcohol, and many of his aggressive behaviors were linked to this habit. Now, prior to handing down her sentence, Judge Guilford said it is clear from the evidence that Aline has had a long history of mental illness. However, she added that the death of his sister and his continuous use of drugs would have aggravated the situation, and therefore he needs to be protected from his own safety, for his own safety and of society. Now, having admitted that Aline needs to be in an institution that provides for mentally challenged offenders, she said Grenada does not have such a facility, and therefore he has to be placed at the Richmond Hill prison. Aline's 15-year jail sentence will take into consideration one already spent on remand. In addition, he is to undergo psychotherapy treatment and study the English language up to CXC level. Speaking to the media after last Friday's sentence, defense lawyer Pauline Hannibal said although she had not spoken to the relatives of her client to determine the next course of action, she is of the view the reasoning given by the judge for delivering such judgment is justified given Aline's medical condition. It is her hope that he would continue taking his medication during his stint at the prison and return to society to live a normal life. Now, I think that that's a very interesting story here, because You know, it's a known mental case that we're dealing with, and our society owes our citizens that responsibility, at least that duty of care we do have as a nation. We have to provide that sort of care to those who can provide it for themselves. And I think it's rather unfortunate. It's rather unfortunate that, you know, we have all these things where our citizens have to go through, you know, that sort of thing, especially when it comes to cases of the mental. Listen, when it comes to mentally ill people, mentally challenged people, we are disgusting as a nation. When it comes to taking care of our elderly people, we are disgusting, rotten disgusting as a nation. No apologies for that. Governments come, governments go, and they do a sloppy job in taking care of the vulnerable, the mentally ill, and the elderly. Disgusting, to say the least. Huh? And not because we don't see things in front of us means that it doesn't exist. And you would find that we make decisions only when we are affected. If you have people who are in possession of making decisions and they have Down syndrome children, Down syndrome niece, or mentally challenged brothers and mentally challenged sisters, you get in facility, you wander in elevator and thing taking you up, glass on each side, door opening for you. I ain't making it up, that's the reality. Laws get into place, action is done only when we are affected or somebody we know is affected. You know what I mean? We are disgusting. I'm pointing fingers at no particular government, no particular person. If you have a spade, you can call it a shovel. And they say a spade is different. It happened, but my God, man. Anyway, let me leave that talk there. Because I don't really want to get too thing. You know what I mean? So, charges dropped against a driver in the schoolboy's death. We already told you about that. There was a criminal charge of causing death by dangerous driving levied against a St. George's man, and again we are in the papers, right? And those charges has been dropped as the prosecution hinted to the court that they no longer wish to proceed with the matter. Remember that Andrew Harding, the son of a popular St. George's businessman, was accused of being the driver of the Subaru vehicle responsible for the death of the 13-year-old Dante Felix. He walked out of the court free of all criminal charges levied against him as the state ceased to go further with the matter. Felix, at the time a Form 1 student at the Westerhall Secondary School, had his life cut short following a vehicular accident on the Calivini Public Road in April of 2017. According to information circulating at the time, Felix was in the company of a group of students when he met his death. Now, during his brief stint in court on Friday, High Court Judge Paula Guilford, responding to a motion brought by the prosecution, told Andrew he was free to leave as the case against him had been discontinued. Meanwhile, defense lawyer Arlie Gill, speaking to the media following the conclusion of the matter, said based on the prosecution's evidence against the Harding, he is not surprised that they decided not to proceed with the matter. As it relates to the prosecution's reasoning, Gill said a decision of that nature has to be taken by the Director of Public Prosecution, and he is not compelled to give any reason for his decision, which is the Director of Public Prosecution is not compelled to give any reason for his decision. He further added that constitutionally, the DPP has the power and exercised his discretion, one he believes that was reasonable in the circumstances. Asked whether the family of the deceased had any resources, Gill said, while they can proceed with civil action, this is the end of the criminal proceeding. Sorry, and not recourse, resources, that was actually recourse, all right? So that's it right there. In the papers, we're done. Let's go into another matter now. 628 cases of child abuse and neglect in 2018. You heard that, right? These statistics are provided by the authority on the matter. So, You cannot question it. These are the raw facts as presented by the authority on the matter. Hold on. Take all the time with me. Share the program. Let me go again. Now, every year, hundreds of our nation's children come face to face with the haunting reality of child abuse and neglect. Now, during 2018, 628 such cases were reported to the Child Protection Authority. Child neglect and abuse. Now, let's break that down for you. I like statistics. I love statistics. You know, I think my calling was to be a statistician, but you know what I mean, I ain't too bright. So here's what we're doing. For the last quarter of 2018 alone, 248 cases were reported. For the last quarter alone, 248 cases were reported, of which 197 have been investigated. 35 in court. 59 of these cases are being monitored after investigation. Now, the Child Protection Authority says, as the agency responsible for promoting the protection of children, they say that they continue to stand up and speak out against the maltreatment of children. And they're inviting all sections. They are inviting all sections of the society to join them as they carry out the mandate of working in the best interest and for the greatest good of the children. They're calling on you to do your part, because out of these 628 cases, it must include a child that you know. 628 cases, yeah? What are we doing? What is he really doing, boy? Poor children, you know. Poor children. Anyway, lady, that dog there. Now, we told you that last night, and we have reason to tell you again. The dry season in plain. This dry season in plain. And the National Water and Sewage Authority, NAWASA, is calling out all water truck operators and owners to a special meeting on Monday. Now, folks, the meeting will be from 11 a.m. at the NAWASA's Dusty Highway Conference Room. Dusty Highway. Now, according to NAWASA, the meeting is to discuss the dry season and their operation during the period. Already, communities are feeling the effects of the dry season, which officials say is forecast to be drier than normal. As of January 22nd, 2019, 4.7 millimeters of rainfall was received at the Maurice Bishop International Airport, a far cry from the normal 30-year average for the month of January of 61.7 millimeters using the climatological standard normal. Now, this year's data presents this January as the driest in Grenada's history, following from 9.5 millimeters in 2001 and 11.4 millimeters in 2010. NAWASA General Manager, Mr. Christopher Husbands, and a team from NAWASA recently met with prison officials to discuss the dry season. Now, the prison is affected by the current valve regulation at the Les Avocats water system. Currently, they are out of water from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily. Other communities are likely to be affected as we go deeper into the dry season. Now, NAWASA is encouraging homeowners to conserve water and to invest in adequate storage facility at minimum 35 gallons of water per person per day. You understand? So that's what we can tell you right now as it relates to the dry season. I tell you in plain. Police have arrested in St. Lucia 4 persons in connection with another spate of vehicle theft. So not only in Grenada are we seeing that people are stealing vehicles, but also in the beautiful island of St. Lucia. They have recovered 4 vehicles in a short space of time. And police, they are proud of the inroads that they have made with this, you know, but they are going to continue to search for these criminals. Check this out.
The crackdown on motor vehicle theft led by the police force was amplified the past 24 hours when 4 different motor vehicles were reported stolen. Thieves pounced on their first reported victim as early as 7:45 a.m. on January 24th. 2 armed suspects robbed one man of his motor scooter. 2 other motor vehicles were also stolen hours apart late Thursday night, and a 4th went missing on January 25th. Investigators were able to track down each of the missing vehicles before they got harvested for their parts for possible resale on the black market. Law enforcement officers have confirmed that all victims are once again in possession of their rides.
All 4 vehicles were recovered, not having sustained any damages. They were all returned to their respective owners.
A perennial issue confronted by law enforcement officers, however, is the unwillingness of victims to press charges. When that happens, suspects are released from custody.
2 of these incidents, the virtual complainants have requested no court action in the matter. The other 2 matters, the individuals have requested judiciary proceedings. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force wishes to thank the members of the public for the information relayed to them, that is the police, which aided in the recovery of these vehicles. We also wish to encourage persons who are involved in such matters to report at the earliest to the nearest police station, as well as to encourage them to pursue court action once these matters have been reported to the police.
4 people were arrested in connection with the police-led car theft sting operation. Rihani Isidore, HTS News Force.
Hey Rihani, I make you out. I find these days you're doing a lot of police story. I make you out, and Rihani. You know what I mean? I make you out. And I do the same thing, guy. You know what I mean? But I ain't lying there, boy. Jano, if I was a police, no, sorry, if I was a journalist in St. Lucia, yeah, I ain't telling you, say, yeah. What I'm saying is, if I was a journalist in St. Lucia, every day I'd in a police station. Every day. You know, man? You know what I mean? You know, if a dog get bunks at any police station, I want an interview. Yeah, I mean, Jano. 806, you're telling me. What? I'll say you have a gun? You call him Mikey? Why? Officer, I could get an interview. Anyway, let me lead that talk. You know what I mean? Eh? You're telling me. Alistair, you know. Eh, Alistair? Alright, anyway, let me lead that talk there. We're moving on. Next story. How are we looking for time? Eh, Alistair? Yeah, I mean, if I dog bunks, even if I want a weather report, I go to the police station. Officer, I could get interview every day. I put setting up office. I was not setting up office outside the police station, you know. Telling me. Rihani, I'll make you out. Let me leave that talk. Alright, so next story now. No, that one's a serious, so we had to stop laugh. You know, that one, yeah, that one's a serious one. We had to stop laugh. Officer, we'll come back to you just now. So the next story that we have to tell you here, boy, dad drowns saving his son. After seeing his 7-year-old son get into difficulty while swimming in the Pilot River. That's a story from Trinidad, boy. A 43-year-old dad, he did not hesitate to rush in after his son. They say he rushed in and pushed him towards the river bank. But the dad himself then encountered difficulties and went under. They say that he did not resurface until 16 hours later. you know, they say he's a hero. He's been praised as a hero by investigators, but that Jed boy, that Jed. Yeah. All you hear that Trinidad? A report coming out of Trinidad. They say the schoolgirls are making porn and sharing it. Trinidad. They say that instances of child prostitution and child pornography in Trinidad and Tobago are being significantly underreported. And they say that the people in authority are the ones to be blamed for that. Yeah? Now this is according to the child care professionals. And they say it is being severely underreported, but them children and them flaming blues and posting it and sharing it with their friends and then kind of business. When making it up, you there, go and look for it. Expressing them, have it, go and look. Yeah? Huh? Here are 69 cases between 2014 to 2018 involving child pornography. 69 cases between 2014 to 2018 involving child pornography. Of those cases, 67 involving girls, and of this figure, 72% of the girls had self-inflicted the material. Eh? You know what I mean? Trinidad. I'll leave that talk there. I'll leave that talk there. You understand? But anyway, as a journalist, as a reporter, as a sergeant of police, or as a whoever you are, it don't matter how bright you are, it don't matter how bright you think you are, it doesn't matter your status within the society, there are some situation that's going to present itself, and when it does, you just wouldn't have the right response.
Hello? Hello? Yes, sir. Yes, is that Maita? Yes, good day. Is it Mr. Maita? Yes, good evening. Yes. Do you know a lady by the name of Ruby Myers used to work Minister Works? I can't recall at this time. Yes. Okay, then, let me help you out here. She's my wife, who was having sex in the office with at the Minister Works. All right. I called my marriage. Hello.
He wasn't ready. Folks, this is by far one of the most viewed videos in the world for yesterday, for last night. Beyond the tip, where partner sit down there and he think, you know, expecting to answer some questions relating to policing and them kind of business, and boom, the bomb was dropped. He wasn't ready. His reaction showed, you know, I mean, let me not say that because next thing I don't have money for lawyer, you know. I'm not Donald Trump, you know. But what? People, a ball when I hear that.
Let me help you out here. She's my wife, who was having sex in the office with at the Minister Works. All right. I called my marriage. Hello.
Oh gosh, I never hear that yet. That's funny. That's funny. That's nothing to laugh. What are you laughing for? You find that funny? Huh? You find that funny? Really? You find that funny? Anyway, we have the national report coming. Make sure to share the program. Yeah? Make sure to share the program. We're coming back.
It's a new year, so how about a new look? At Quartz Optical, we have the latest brand names and styles. Plus, get 20% off credit on 12 to 24 months. Instant credit approval while you are being tested. Get 15% off cash so you can get that new frame to go into the new year. Only at Quartz Optical, the largest, fastest growing optical chain in the Caribbean. Special conditions apply.
We mean business and we talk business.
I wanted to go back to when it started.
And we let women in business tell their own stories and inspire others.
But I'm very excited about 2019.
I am Abigail Long, and join me right here for Abby's Power Lunch.
You never looked at a piece of paper. This was just a beautiful conversation.
We talk to women of the Caribbean who make things happen.
I know, let's not just preach it, let's practice it, and it starts from household.
The pride and joy of a nation is its flag. Its colors and arrangement makes it significant and stunningly beautiful. On Wednesday, February 6th, it's National Colors Day. Every proud Grenadian is asked to deck off in clothing highlighting the colors of our flag. Whether you are dressed for work, daily routines, or casual engagements, showcase the true Grenadian spirit. Every ministry, every department, and all workplaces are encouraged to join in. National Colors Day, Wednesday, February 6, 2019. Endorsed by the National Celebrations Committee. Our people, our colors, our day. On Wednesday, February 6th, National Colors Day.
Oh yeah, cool, right? So here's what. So when you're being trained to be a journalist, and then still not only about being trained, but the experience. You have to be sensitive to tone, right? You have to be sensitive to tones. If somebody calls you with a particular tone and it goes up, get ready. Put your hand on the disconnect switch just in case. Once it starts going up, all right? Because generally it would either stay, a normal call would stay like this on a straight line, or it will start here and go this way. But if it goes like this, too suddenly, too quickly, problems, partner. You know what I mean? So that is a little journalism 101 for you. All right, good. So next time, nobody can call you until hello, hello, hello. But that's not a laughing matter. Or the hypocrite. We are now going to the national report, and when we come back from the national report, we do the official wrap-up.
National Health Insurance awaits government approval on health services recommended by the UWI Health Unit. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the national report for Friday, January 25th, 2019, I am Sharian Noel. Now that the package has been submitted by UWI's Health Economic Unit, the National Health Insurance is awaiting approval from government on the services that will be offered under the National Health Insurance. That's according to Ms. Claudette James, project head of the National Health Insurance. She was addressing a ceremony Friday to unveil the NHI logo.
To date, UE has completed and submitted to the government the benefit package, the group of health services that will be included in the NHI package. We now await approval from government on the acceptance of this proposal. They have completed the organizational and governance structure for the NHI. This was submitted to Cabinet, and to date, I can say that Cabinet has approved one of the models they submitted, which was a model that the NHIS or the NHI will become a department within the NIS. So you'd have the board of directors of the National Insurance Board, you'd have a deputy director of the NHI, you'd also have a deputy director of the NIS. So that has been approved by Cabinet.
The UWI team of consultants also conducted a macroeconomic study to ascertain feasibility and sustainability of the NHI project.
Currently, they are working on the revenue generation options, which is trying to determine how an NHI will be financed. They have also conducted working capacity development, and this is training and advising the key persons as to how an NHI works and how it will be administered. Today, they have conducted training with the staff of the Secretariat, the NIB, and various ministries. They have also conducted sensitization sessions with some of our key stakeholders, such as the social partners, including the TUC, the Chamber of Commerce, the PS and staff of the Ministries of Health, Social Development and Finance, and they also met and conducted sessions with the Board of Directors of the NIB.
The NHI is a compulsory health financing program that aims to provide health care coverage for all Grenadians. The Morris Bishop International Airport has received an ambulance for the Crash Fire Rescue Department that will help in its efforts to maintain its Category 9 status. And even while this was being handed over, General Manager of the Airports Authority, Mrs. Wendy Frances Williams, promised the upgrade will continue to ensure the status is maintained.
We are also going to hand over in the future, near future, this year, another fire truck as well. That fire truck will come before the end of this year. We've already ordered the fire truck, it's being built, and that in itself will also tighten that requirement by ICAO for us to meet that Category 9 status.
Tourism Minister Dr. Clarice Modest-Cowan commended the authority for the strides it continues to make, even with the limited resources.
ICAO has been visiting us, and they have been looking at what we do and how we do it and what we have. And while you may have excelled in certain areas, certainly this would have been one of the shortcomings. And I'm happy to also hear that you plan to add another fire truck to the fleet. So you are following the, as I said, the guidelines, but I think you're doing more than that. You're showing that you're concerned about lives, because as I said, they can demand what they want. But if we don't care about our people, and if we don't manage our fundings, our finances, our revenues, we will find that we still cannot achieve.
Grenada's new permanent representative to the Organization of American States has reaffirmed her country's commitment to working in close partnership with OAS member states to build resilience, advance social development, and collectively transform the economies of the hemisphere. Ms. Yolande Smith was at the time presenting her credentials to the Secretary General of the OAS, Mr. Louis Almagro. Restating Grenada's commitment to build a stronger OAS, Ms. Smith said, "We believe in the principles that foster the maintenance of strong institutions, good governance, respect for rule of law, and the promotion of human dignity." She added that Grenada shares with the OAS an abiding dedication to transform the organization into an effective and relevant collective body that helps to deliver a brighter future to our hemisphere with more rights for more people. Secretary General Almagro highlighted Ambassador Smith's broad service in the public sector and knowledge of multilateral diplomacy. He further noted that having Ambassador Smith among us underscores Grenada's commitment to gender parity in representation. With her arrival, 4 of Grenada's 8 representatives have been women. Ms. Smith also serves as Grenada's ambassador to the United States. Grenada was the first Eastern Caribbean country to join the OAS shortly after independence in 1974. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
We are back with you to continue the work. We need you to improve all Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. On the road to national sustainable development. We're back.
So how can we invest more in the sporting arena to bridge that gap for a lot of young people?
I think there should be more
forums like this?
We need to find a way in which to combat that. Now,
Join us for the next National Sustainable Development Plan 2035 Contributors Forum at Wesley College, January 28th, 7 p.m.
Welcome back. Grenada and its CARICOM partners have agreed that an urgent meeting should be sought with United Nations Secretary General to request the UN's assistance in resolving the continued crisis in Venezuela. The country's political crisis appears to be reaching boiling point amid growing efforts by the opposition to unseat the socialist president Nicolas Maduro. A video conference meeting of CARICOM heads and foreign ministers, in which Grenada was represented by the Honorable Peter David, reiterated that the crisis can only be resolved peacefully through meaningful dialogue and diplomacy. In this regard, heads offered their good offices to facilitate dialogue among all parties to resolve the deepening crisis and called on external forces to refrain from doing anything to destabilize the situation. And finally, there is now an identity to the National Health Insurance. The NHI's logo was unveiled on Friday, which the team hopes will become the face of a fully established and functional National Health Insurance program in Grenada. Communications Officer with the NHI, Abigail McIntyre, gave a review of the concept and the selection process.
The designs were judged on the following simple guidelines. The logo should communicate health, simplicity, and professionalism. It must be the original work of the entrant or student, and the design can be text, a symbol, or a combination of both text and symbol. I must say a special thank you to the judges, Mr. Wayne Green of Sign Experts, Mr. Dwayne Noel, Information Technology Manager of the National Insurance Board, Mrs. Lydia Phillip Jones from the Ministry of Health, and NHI's project head, Ms. Claudia James.
The school's category of the competition was won by Preston High of Laborie Mennonite School, while Trail St. Charles won the general category. The winners were presented with their prizes by Project Chair Claudia James and Director of the National Insurance Scheme Dorset Cromwell, respectively. Now for a recap of the top story. Health insurance awaits government approval on health services recommended by UWI Health Unit. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Sherian Noel.
So thank you very much, Sherry Ann, and everyone else who was a part of the national report. We want to say thank you to everybody who's also a part of the program tonight, and we want to say thank you, and we will have more news for you next week again, providing that God spares life. Let me big up some people on the program: Patsy, Lisa, Dangles, Melissa, Ezran, Rena, my mom, Lintona, Raven, as well as Kevin, and Charlene, Barry, big up yourself as well, and everyone else on the program. We have Shireen and the whole family, man, the whole Mikey Live family. Blessings, Clotilda, Carolyn, Rachel, Hazel, and Camille. I see that you're there with us as well, Camille. And Queenie is with us as well tonight. Eunice is with us as well tonight. And Sally, thank you very much, Sally. I see you there as well. And Helen is with us as well. And yes, Shirin, I have not been able to get the weather for the past few days, all right? So that's why I don't have the weather. Sorry. All right, guys? Or I could just give you the generic weather. Okay, let me just give you quickly the generic weather, but we have not received an independent weather report from the Maurice Bishop International Airport, all right, guys? So I'll just give you the generic, okay? And here we are for Friday. We expect some rain tonight. Minimum temperature is going to be just around 24 degrees Celsius. Winds 18 kilometers per hour. Humidity 80%. All right. And that's it for tonight. All right. We expect a little bit of rain probably. There's a possibility of rain tonight. All right, guys. So that's it right there. And I see Rolanda with us, Khadija, Asha, Veronica, Ezra, Gwendolyn, and Daria. Dangles, Samantha is with us, and John Fleming. Hey John, what's happening, bro? And who else? Suzette is with us as well. Zaka is with us. And Asher is with us as well. So, folks, that's it right there. God bless you. And Carol, I'll see you there as well, all right? God bless you guys. I'm out. Princess and Priceless and Lola and Sharon Rush. Everybody, big up all the whole self. Miss Edwards, big up all the whole self. I hearing something. All hear it? What's that sound? Y'all in hearing that?
Hello? Hello? Yes, sir. Yes, is that my son, Samaita? Yes, good day. Is it Mr. Samaita? Yes, good evening. Yes. Do you know a lady by the name of Ruby Myers used to work in the show works? I can't recall at this time. Okay, then, let me help you out here. She's my wife, who was having sex in the office with in the show works. All right. I called my marriage. Hello.
We touch base again tomorrow, God's Monday, God's willing. Let's everybody say in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ja! No! Good night.